Hello and welcome to the Generational Gamer. Today we're talking about the SEGA Genesis BIG6. It is a 2.4 gigahertz wireless arcade pad by Retrobit. So it's got this very shiny exterior and it shows you everything that it has to offer. So we're going to open it up. I've already cut the tape. And we have this box. Now, one of the things that I was interested in this one for is because I like the larger controller. Holy shit, and it's the same size as the SEGA Genesis. That is what I'm talking about. You can get the damn thing out. There we go, got it. Now that, okay, it's got L and R. It is USB-C. It's got some decent weight to it. What's that say? Home and select. Solid D-pad. The buttons are exactly what you'd expect. Start's a little funky, but beggars can't be choosers. I like that one. Then of course you've got your USB dongle, which is usually for Switch or a SEGA Genesis Mini, or even sometimes the TurboGrafx Mini. Then you've got your Genesis dongle. And of course you have your manual. Now I am a little surprised they're not using the big plastic case like the Saturn and the Genesis, but that's the older one. So these are your options, and SEGA Genesis Mini, Windows, Switch. The hell does that say? Nintendo Switch Online. Oh, that's cool. You can actually adjust it for that. And Classics mode. I wonder what Classics is. I have to look that up. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. So, right off the bat, this is ideal for the Switch. You don't have to buy the $50 Nintendo controller. Most of the time, you pair these things just with a couple button presses. See, here's the macros. So that's pretty simple, based on what you want. And there's probably, but don't quote me on it, a USB cable under here. Yep. With a thank you. I'm not even going to mess with that because I couldn't care less about it. I'm going to connect this to the Mega SG because I don't actually have a SEGA Genesis out anymore. And then this I'm going to connect to the Nintendo Switch. And we'll go from there. So A takes you into everything, just like A on normal Switch, blah 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 blah. Alright. Test input device, test buttons. Now you gotta be careful. Home is down here, which is what I press. So A, B, C, X, Y, Z, L, R. Okay. And that's how they should be mapped. But now let's switch it over to Nintendo Switch Online proper mapping, okay? Which should be Start and A. You should only have to press it for a few seconds, so I'm going to hold down A, and I'm going to hold down Start, and absolutely no feedback. Oh, it works now. So the big thing to note is that A goes from A to C once you get it. So now let's check it. And this should be Z, L, and ZR. Yep, okay. Alright, so we are going to get out of this one. And we are going to go into Nintendo Switch Online. SEGA! And we're going to pick a game that we know very, very, very well. Especially one that, at the very beginning of the game, allows you to select your buttons. Alright, so this is a 3-button only game, which is perfect because that's the kind I like to play. Now you can clearly see what these are. A is magic, B is attack, and C is jump. And we're just going to click OK and start. We're going to pick that dude. Alright, so, just so you can see. Attack, jump, and magic. Okay? So it works exactly the way it's supposed to. And the cool thing is, that now the controller is actually big enough that I can use the damn thing, and I don't have to use one of the 6 buttons that I'm not really a big fan of. Let's get out of this. Okay, let's go to the game selection. Hell, let's go home. Because what I want to do is actually go to the SEGA Genesis Classics. Never get tired of that load time on the Nintendo Switch, though, I'll tell you. Alright, so we're gonna work our way through this. I'll show you the control setup that I have. Button layout. Now, it doesn't give you a whole lot of options here, let's be frank. Which is definitely a detriment to this controller here. So we're gonna have to list it as dual Joy-Con, but let's just see how the game actually is. We're gonna choose the exact same game, Golden Axe 2. Hit start. We'll hit options, no changes whatsoever. We'll even use the green dude again, I can't think of his name. Okay, so, just let me show you. Even magic. So it's the same. So now you can actually use the SEGA Genesis controller just as intended. The only thing is, you're not bound to its ridiculously overpriced Nintendo Switch Online. Now, whether or not I keep that one, I don't really know yet, but I'm perfectly happy with this. The obvious question is, do you notice any lag? No, I don't, but I'm not really susceptible to it. I don't really ever notice it, to be honest. And being an old fart gamer, I just assume I suck at these games anyway. But yeah, it works. And here's the cool thing. If you're actually using it on a real SEGA Genesis, there's a really nice option. You can actually drop it into 3-button mode. That's if you're using the Genesis dongle. Hold down Start and B, and it'll take you into 3-button mode, and then you get the benefits of the wireless without having to use the 6-button controller. For games like Ranger X, which really aren't agreeable with that for me. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, have any ideas for future video, let me know. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit like, hit dislike too if you hate me. That's alright, have a good one, bye-bye.